Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news from China Lake Open House, a letter from Congressman McCarthy, a Route 58 update, news about an important meeting tonight, today's gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitney. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In news from the Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake, they have announced that the public is invited to NAS China Lake Community Day next Saturday, November 7th. There will be a special presentation by VX-9, VX-31, and EOD, aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles, robots, and a variety of other facets of China Lake technology will be available for viewing during the Community Day November 7th, and it'll go from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Armitage Field. Community Day was established to thank the local communities for their support, said Commanding Officer Captain Rich Wiley. For the past couple of years, it was held on Blandy Street. Since aircraft play such an important part of the base, I felt it would be more appropriate and user-friendly to host the event out at Armitage Field. Food and drinks will be available for purchase. There will also be an MWR Kid Zone available for a small fee. In addition, guests will be able to enjoy the third annual Sidewinder Classic Car Show called From the Fleet to the Street. Sandquist Gate will open to the public at 9:45 a.m. and will close to incoming traffic at 3 p.m. Drivers will need a valid driver's license for vehicular entrance, and all guests 16 years of age or older will need a picture ID. To get to the Sandquist Gate, go north on China Lake Boulevard and pass the Inyokern Road intersection. From Inyokern Road, going east, turn left at the Inyokern Road and China Lake Boulevard intersection. Signs will be posted. As with any military installation, vehicles and paraphernalia are subject to search. The following items are prohibited: large camera equipment, oversized camera bags, oversized purses, alcohol, glass, pets, weapons of any kind including mace, illegal drugs or paraphernalia, flammable liquids, fireworks, scooters, bicycles, skateboards, and gang-related clothing. Personnel found with prohibited items may be asked to leave the premises. Items which will be allowed include folding or camping chairs, water, and child care needs. Updates to the Community Day activities will be posted on the NAS China Lake Facebook page. For that, go to www.facebook.com/NAS China Lake. In news from Washington, Congressman Kevin McCarthy released the following letter. He has sent this to Obama and Governor Brown. He says, "Dear Mr. President and Governor Brown, as California faces a persistent catastrophic drought, we write today to request that you direct federal and state agencies and departments to take all necessary steps to prepare to capture, store, and move water to northern, central, and southern California in the event El Nino-related precipitation materializes this winter. As you know, California is experiencing the driest years on record since 1895. This has resulted in communities we represent depleting their existing water supplies or simply running out of water altogether. As we have seen in some Central Valley regions, the extent of the drought has also resulted in unprecedented water rationing orders designed to stretch our already limited supplies into the future and first-of-the-kind groundwater regulations in our state. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicts the current El Nino in the Pacific Ocean has a 95% chance of continuing through the 2015-16 winter. NOAA goes on to state that current atmospheric conditions indicate this could be a strong El Nino, bringing heavy and much-needed precipitation to our drought-parched state in Northern California, Central, and Southern California. NOAA Climate Prediction Center data shows there is a 66% chance that El Nino could bring above normal precipitation this winter in Northern California, where rain and snow feed critical reservoirs that supply water to the rest of our state. CPC data also shows upwards of a 93% chance of normal to above average precipitation for the rest of the state. This precipitation would likely peak in the first quarter of 2016. While El Nino-related precipitation will probably not end the drought we face, this much-needed water would be a crucial lifeline to our struggling constituents. We believe that federal and state environmental policies and regulations have exacerbated California's current situation by denying us the ability to capture water for human use and consumption now and to better prepare ourselves for situations like the current drought. The House of Representatives has passed legislation to help provide more water to all Californians while maintaining protections for the environment. We remain committed to working with you and the Senate in a constructive manner to enact legislation to help our state. However, as the legislative process continues, we are interested in making sure that federal and state agencies and departments are prepared to maximize the benefits of El Niño for California's families, farms, businesses, and cities. To that end, we have the following questions. Do federal government agencies, such as the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the National Marine Fisheries Service, have plans in place to capture El Niño-related precipitation for human use? If so, what are these plans? Next question. Do California government agencies, such as the Department of Water Resources, the California Fish and Wildlife Service, and the State Water Resource Control Board, have plans in place to capture El Niño-related precipitation for human use? If so, what are these plans? If neither federal nor state agencies have such plans in place, what is the timeline to develop and implement such plans? In years past, we have seen various policy and regulatory impediments, including those associated with protecting fish, that limited water exports from the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta. How do federal and state agencies intend to overcome these obstacles to maximize water exports to Central and Southern California? What actions are federal and state agencies taking or have already taken in advance of El Niño to capture water for human use? While it is important to prepare for potential mudslides and flooding, it is also important to remember that our constituents desperately need the water they are entitled to or have contracted for and paid for. El Niño could be a potential godsend if precipitation materializes and we are able to capture it for human use. While no one can know for certain how much rain or snow could occur this winter, it is imperative that we are prepared to maximize the benefit to all Californians that El Niño could bring. We look forward to your response and working together to help our state through this difficult period. Well, that was from Congressman McCarthy to President Obama and Governor Brown. I wonder how they will respond. State Republicans have been begging for Brown and the Democrats to increase water storage in California. They have been completely ignored. My bet, they'll totally ignore this opportunity to protect some fish in the northern delta. Now stay tuned for an update on State Route 58 when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now an update on State Route 58. The California Department of Transportation is reporting State Route 58 between Mojave and Tehachapi is now open. The highway closed over a week ago due to the flood that brought mud onto the highway and vehicles were engulfed by mud. It was discovered that approximately 1.5 miles of roadway was covered in 5 to 6 feet of mud. Well, the good news is the state route is now open. And don't forget this very important meeting tonight. Representatives from the State Water Resource Control Board will address Groundwater Management Agency implementation, regulation, and enforcement issues for the critically overdrafted Indian Wells Valley Water District. Vice Chair Donna Thomas announced the upcoming public comment and informational meeting at City Hall 6 p.m. tonight. The meeting will be facilitated by Gail Schechter of the California Department of Water Resources. The announced anticipated timeline for regulations are slated for early spring 2016. So if you're interested in the establishment of the new state-mandated Groundwater Sustainability Agency, this is the meeting to go to. Much should be learned about this, and the fact that it is here instead of Bakersfield is very encouraging. And in U.S.-Mexican border news, authorities seized 12 tons of marijuana and arrested 22 people after discovering one of the longest cross-border tunnels between the U.S. and Mexico. The passage connecting warehouses in San Diego and Tijuana, Mexico, was about 2,400 feet long and 30 feet deep. It was lit, ventilated, and equipped with a rail system, hallmarks of the most sophisticated tunnels found along the border. Near simultaneous police stings on Wednesday resulted in 6 arrests in San Diego and 16 in Mexico. Authorities recovered 2 tons of marijuana in the U.S. and 10 tons in Mexico. U.S. authorities said smugglers tried to move the first load of drugs through the tunnel on Wednesday, but that nothing got through undetected. The sting came after an undercover agent for U.S. Homeland Security investigations agreed to provide the drug smugglers with drivers and use of a warehouse in exchange for a $10,000 payment for each truckload of drugs moved, according to a probable cause statement. The discovery demonstrates the enduring appeal of tunnels to smugglers, despite the significant time and money required to build one. Dozens of tunnels have been found along the U.S.-Mexico border in recent years, some equipped with hydraulic lifts and electric rail cars. The San Diego-Tijuana region is popular because its clay-like soil is relatively easy to dig with shovels and pneumatic tools, and both sides of the border have warehouses that provide cover for trucks and heavy equipment. It was unclear which drug trafficking organization orchestrated the latest passage, but the region is largely controlled by Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, whose leader, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, escaped from a maximum security prison in Mexico in July through an elaborate tunnel. Mexican federal police said in a news release that those arrested on suspicion of drug trafficking told authorities that they had ties to a criminal group that operates in the state of Jalisco, an apparent reference to the Jalisco New Generation cartel, which controls that part of western Mexico. The Mexican suspects were caught off guard when authorities arrived at the Tijuana warehouse with a search warrant. No shots were fired. The drugs found were wrapped in 873 packages covering with plastic and tape. On the U.S. side, the tunnel entry point in a warehouse near the Otay Mesa border crossing had no stairs or ladder. Smugglers were believed to be using pulleys. Dave Shaw, head of the Homeland Security Investigations in San Diego, said traffic to and from the San Diego warehouse was unusually heavy before the sting. The agency began investigating in May, he said. It almost looked like they filled it with junk just to look like they were busy. Shaw said Isaias Enriquez, 53, and Isidro Silva, 27, both of Tijuana, were charged with conspiracy in the U.S. federal court. 4 others were to be charged in state court. Enriquez agreed in recording conversations to pay the underground agent $10,000 truckload to provide a second warehouse and drivers. Drugs were to go there from the warehouse on the border in San Diego. 2 agents unloaded boxes containing 249 packages of marijuana at the second warehouse on Wednesday, and one met later with Enriquez and Silva at a San Diego restaurant to arrange another shipment, the document said. And here's a story from KZGN field reporter Tanya Pyle. Current chairman of the annual Republican Central Committee, Thaddeus Taylor, energized the ranks at Ridgecrest Republican Women October luncheon last Friday when he reported on the September Republican Convention in Orange County. California delegates convene twice a year. The convention board of directors voted on the issues. Taylor elaborated the committees and their respective functions, saying, "Now the critical committee is the platform committee, which serves to collectively solidify and prioritize party positions based on party ideals, principles, values, and objectives." He contrasted Republican values with 2012 Democratic National Convention Chairman Anthony Villagrosa, who managed to get to the Democratic Convention to boo God, when Villagrosa demonstrated his honor for the U.S. Armed Forces by showing pictures of the Soviet Navy ships. The Resolution Committee clarifies and supports party resolve and rules for the party on all local, state, and national voter issues. The Executive Committee functions when necessary in lieu of the party body unless unable to obtain a quorum. Taylor said the 21st century Republican Party needs to advance the party cause using current technology, videos, websites, and computer gizmos such as get a Facebook page, he said, and a YouTube account. To increase constituency, always promote party values and ideas. Know what you're talking about, he said. Engage voters and donors as often as possible. You have opportunity at your upcoming Desert Empire Fair. Go ask for the clothes and ask them to join, he said. He encouraged everyone to visit the California GOP website and to attend a convention. And for fun this weekend, don't forget the Desert Empire Fair is now up and running. The fair will run through Sunday. The fair will have rides from Butler Amusements. There will be about 100 vendors, concessionaires, and local groups displaying their items. And there will be featured events Friday and Saturday nights as well. There will be a rodeo on Friday night, and on Saturday night there'll be a concert starring Brian White. He is a major country western singing star with many hits. He has announced that this will be a special event for him, his goal being to actually be part of the audience and provide the stories behind the songs he sings. These special events will be free with a paid admission to the fair. There will also be other performers doing things all throughout the fair. There will be all sorts of various performances. There will also be a Jell-O eating contest, a root beer chugging contest, and a Lego building contest. So the fair is the event for this weekend. Go on out and have some fun. Now in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, since my report on Wednesday, gas prices were dropped 2 cents per gallon to $2.89 per gallon. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $2.89 to $3.09, Lancaster from $2.69 to $3.07, the LA Valley area from $2.69 to $2.89, and the Bishop area $3.35 to $3.45. We have 3 stations coming in at the $2.89 figure and 2 stations at $2.91. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay any sales tax out of town, you are helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Now stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Lane standing in for Keith for weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, widespread showers and thunderstorms are expected to continue to bring a threat of flash flooding across parts of the southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley into the weekend. The main areas of heavy rain will be across central and northeastern Texas before shifting eastward toward the Gulf Coast. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas at 72, Georgia at 78, Arkansas at 79, northern Texas at 74, Arizona at 76, and LA at 73. For us locally, tonight, mostly clear with a low around 52, east-southeast wind around 5 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny with a high near 77, north-northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. And Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 55, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 79, north-northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 56, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Monday, sunny with a high near 78, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Monday night, mostly clear with a low around 55, south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 77, north-northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low around 58, northeast wind around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 73, south-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 15 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a 20% chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 57, south wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. And Thursday, a 20% chance of showers, partly sunny, with a high near 71, north-northeast wind, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Lane. Now let's go to Tom Heck for sports.
And a very pleasant Friday afternoon to everyone. Burroughs High School football tonight over at Apple Valley High School, Bass Stadium. Good place to watch football. The weather should be pretty good also. Just a little bit of a wind from the northwest maybe, but other than that, should be a great night. If you can't make it out there, you can tune in to 12:40 a.m. We'll have the game at 7 o'clock, the pregame at 6:50. Again, that's Burroughs and Apple Valley tonight from Bass Stadium in Apple Valley. All right, let's talk about volleyball. Saracosa lost a tough 3-set match on Wednesday. The team plays at home today. They'll be playing against San Bernardino Valley College before going on the road again next week. Baseball tonight, Toronto and Kansas City, game number 6. David Price on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. If David Price can throw a pretty good game tonight, and if the Blue Jays can hit the ball well, that'll force Game 7 in Kansas City on Saturday. The winner gets the red-hot New York Mets, who swept the Cubs in 4 straight games. All right, Don Mattingly is out as a Dodger manager. A little surprised to hear that. 5 years in LA, 446 wins, 363 losses. He had 3 National West titles. No World Series, though. In fact, the last time the Dodgers were in the World Series was in 1988 when Tom Lasorda was their manager. So again, Mattingly out as a Dodger manager. I know the Miami Marlins were interested in Don Mattingly. He'll definitely find a job. I think he did a pretty good job, and big gigantic payroll, and an organization that just seems to get an awful lot of money from TV revenue and really seemingly not even putting their fans as a priority. So we'll see what happens when they try to find another manager. I don't know where they'll go, if they'll go in the system, out of the system. It's hard to say who will get that job. Should be very interesting as they start announcing the candidates for the Dodger job. All right, real quick, football. Professional football. The Patriots leading the AFC East 5-0. In the North, the Bengals are 6-0. They quietly just keep winning. In the South, the Colts are 3-3. Anybody can win that division. And out west, the Denver Broncos, a perfect 6-0. Over in the NFC, in the East, Philadelphia and the Giants are tied for first at 3 wins, 3 losses. Incidentally, those two teams played each other last Monday night, with Philadelphia winning 27-7. Now out north, the Packers undefeated, 6-0. They're still playing as good as ever. And down south, the Carolina Panthers, 5-0. They went up and beat Seattle last weekend in Seattle. Those guys are for real. And out west, the Cardinals. The Cardinals, not the Seahawks, in first place with a record of 4-2. USC and Utah Saturday from the Coliseum. UCLA and Cal from the Rose Bowl. Should be a couple of pretty good games. I'm picking USC to give Utah a very good battle, but I see Utah coming out a touchdown ahead. Utah number 3 in all the land, Cal number 20, and UCLA trying to get back in that top rankings themselves. That's your sports for this Friday. Have a very good weekend. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next. And now we close with some beautiful pictures of Mammoth Lake submitted by viewer Jolene.